Hey people, Kate Link here. How are we doing? So we've got the next Adeptus Mechanicus, Vitruvius, as well as Christmas is coming. So is this guy, and he looks pretty decent to be fair. I don't think he's kind of game breaking, but I do think he's going to have some good uses. So we'll have a quick look through some of his stats, and then we'll have a quick look at some of him in action. So Vitruvius. So he is Adeptus Mechanicus. He looks pretty cool as always. Mechanic, so he has the mechanic trait. And also he's mechanical, so he can be healed that way. I don't think this kind of character needs that much to worry about really for that. He's just going to be healed by the rest of his allies, but that's about it. So his first skill, the Rad Bombardment. So deals, this is at max level at 50. So deals 1 times toxic damage. And at max level, it's pretty nice. To all units in a straight line in one of 6 directions. And adds contamination, which we know you can look at. And that is like giving you a minus on the armor. To all hexes in a line. The length of the line, though, does depend. It starts at 2 and increases by 1 hex for each round that has passed, and 1 hex each time a friendly mechanic restores health of a unit. So it's not something you want to be using straight away. It's a bit of a tactical kind of skill, this, because it can be pretty nasty in used in the kind of right time, which we'll show shortly. But yeah, I don't think there's a lot worse skills out there. I mean, the toxic damage at level 50 is pretty nice, and the kind of contamination that you can do to the rest of them. But also, when you're doing that, his next skill kind of comes into play also, which is pretty good with this guy. So the Master Annihilator, so after get my words out, Vitruvius deals damage to an enemy. The next 3 attacks of any friendly unit against the enemy scores an additional hit. This additional hit can do a maximum of 7,477 at the max level 50, which is pretty sweet. And that's after he deals damage. So if you do use his skill, it's going to kind of start this on as well. So it's pretty nice. It's a pretty decent damage as well, to be fair. At max level 7,477. I mean, it's up to. So obviously it all depends on kind of what's going on with the person you're doing against, but it's pretty sweet, and that's 3 times as well, so it's a good chance of adding a lot more damage. The character himself moves free, his armor's okay, it's pretty decent, health's okay, his damage though at max 3,828 is pretty sweet, that's quite high, and he needs it with that power, melee damage, and a molecule at 2 range as well, so it's hits pretty hard. This guy can hit pretty hard. You get some decent armor on him, and increases crit as well. I mean, I've got it at 5 across the board on legendary gear, so that's 1,354. Do you know what I mean? I add that to what is already damaged, about 5,000, and then you've got the extra damage that you can keep doing on top of that. So yeah, he hits hard. This guy, he's all right. He's all right. Let's have a look at him in action. So I've gotten this against the Tyranid boss. So we have got Ragnar, we have Ulf, we have Eldi, and we have Vitruvius, as well as good old Roswither. I forgot her name, Roswither behind. So what we're going to do first, like I say, you've got to make sure that Vitruvius gets the first hit. So we're going to send, I think we sent Eldi in first to get the extra damage. Vitruvius going there, doing just under 7,000 damage, which is pretty sweet. So straight away you've got the first hit in there, so now you can see, I'm going to pause it there, the effect is in place, the Master Annihilator is in place, so the next 3 attacks by anybody else is going to be doing this extra damage. Now one thing to bear in mind is, at the moment this extra damage doesn't show as an extra hit, it's kind of added to one of the hits already, which I'll show you shortly. I think this is a visual bug at the moment, it might still be a visual bug when the character comes out, but I do think it should show as an extra hit. Snowprint are aware of this. I think it is a visual bug. They haven't kind of said yes or no. But I think it is. And I think eventually it will show as an extra hit. But for now, it kind of includes on one of their own hits. So at the moment, like I said, it's pretty sweet damage. Ragnar's going to go in there, do some nice sweet damage. He does his hits, but we can't really see. But I'll show you if I could just pause it with... there we go. So you can see Roswither does 2 hits, and at them 2 hits, 9,700, and then you double 16,190. So that's 16,000 is including that extra damage. So the past 3 of all that extra damage, what you can see on Roswither at the 2 hits, that one is like nearly half, double, sorry, of that first kind of damage. So it is being included, but like I say, I think in the future it's going to show us another hit. So just bear that in mind. It might not show straight away, unless they fix it over the next couple of days. But I don't think that's truly what it should be like. But hey, it was just a little visual bug. It still does the damage. That's the main thing. So overall, like by the time they all hit there, that's 100,000 damage. That's pretty decent as a team. You could probably get a lot more out of them, but yeah, do you know what I mean? This is a legendary level. They're all pretty hitting hard, but that's what you're going to make sure. You're always going to make sure Vitruvius gets that first hit before the rest. I mean, it does kind of carry on, but I just think this is going to be wasted extra damage. Do you know what I mean? You want to make sure Vitruvius gets that first hit, like now, bang, and then the rest is just damage. Use it up, I think, each round. Like I said, it carries on, but I just think it's going to be a waste anyway. So we're going to go by magic, go to the next skill. Anywhere here, he says. There we go. So the next skill we're just going to show is the line in the rad bombardment. So again, this is kind of for demonstration purposes. Not very often you're going to have the enemy in like a big conga line, so you can shoot it straight through. But do you know what I mean? There's that I think at times you will get like 2 or 3 enemy like in a line. Also, this kind of skill is going to be great for kind of like, I think, putting like a barrier, so they've got to come through that. A lot of them could stop on there. Yeah, I think it can do some good damage. As you can see here, there we go. The rad bombardment does damage, and it nearly kills 3 of them. And Calgar at the end there took some extra damage also. But as you can see, each character now has that Master Annihilator, the Contaminated, on every single character in that line because he's hit them. So it's caused the Master Annihilator, but also got the Contamination because they're in that conga line doing the conga, and they've all paid the price for it. So now the rest of your gang can just go in there and finish them all off. As you can see, look, they're pretty. They're just literally hanging there by the thread, and they're going to die. So all in all, this guy, what do I think about him? I do think he's okay. Like I said, I don't think he's groundbreaking. We've come to a point now in Tacticus where, do you know what I mean, you've really got to think of, you can't take everyone with you. You can only take 5. Do you know what I mean? So as good as this guy is, who are you going to replace that guy with? Yeah, this guy is going to be good against certain guild bosses. Some he's not going to be good at. But if you put him in, you're going to have to take someone out. So that's what you've always got to bear in mind at the moment is we're getting all these new characters, which is great. But because this gets to the stage now of you're putting a great new character in, so who are you going to get to kind of replace that character? Do you know what I mean? You've got a good settled 5-man team. You want to put this guy in. Who are you going to take out? That's going to be the tough one with him. I think he's going to be great in arena. Tournament arena, I think he should be pretty good at as well. So he's going to have his uses in a lot of different modes. But I don't think we're kind of his true potential yet with... I think there's going to be other ad mech out there that's really going to help boost this guy up, in my opinion. But who knows, we'll see. Like I say, overall, I'm looking forward to getting him and testing him a bit more. I do think there's a little bit more potential with this guy. But who knows? Let me know what you guys think, seeing him firsthand. Do you think, where do you think he's going to fit in? Where do you think he'll sit where? Who do you think he'll pair well with? I think it's going to be the heavy hitters, personally, myself. But yeah, it'd be interesting to know what you guys out there think also. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to check out some other videos. I've got a big competition video coming out tomorrow for Christmas. In fact, I think it's my biggest competition that's coming out. So look forward to that tomorrow. Yeah, there we go. Take care. Bye-bye.